Everyone, this is Minnesota Mike back with you for another video, another live stream. This is a very special live stream, and normally when I say that, it's because I'm paying tribute to, like one artist, Bob Dylan or somebody like that, deserves to have the spotlight on them. In Bob Dylan's case, at least once a year. But this is a very special live stream because it is part of a double album that I wrote in May. And it was funny, I started writing for this album on like May 13th-ish. And I thought I was done writing for it on, the like 29th or 30th of May. And then I just kept on coming up with more and more ideas for, both discs. So it was just kind of one of those crazy things. But basically, this is nothing entirely new. I mean, it is, but there are some details I won't get into. But basically about a relationship gone wrong. But this time the twist is that I was the one who was like, no, something's not right here. And so that's kind of one of those things that's a little bit of a new experience for me. But it's all about knowing that, you used to be codependent, on other people, and realizing that you're not anymore. And so anybody who's codependent on you is kind of, a deal breaker. And so this first track wasn't the first track that I wrote for the album. It was like the third track I think that I wrote, but it ended up being the first track, which also never happens. Usually I write them in order. But this one it made sense to start off with the title track, and this is a song called Iowapolis, and basically this person that I had been talking to, was from Minnesota, but was going to be at a conference in Iowa around this time, and so we were going to meet up. But then there were certain things that, like we, were video chatting one night or whatever. And she just at some point said, something interrupted us. And so she was like, kept on apologizing and being like, I'm so sorry. I'll make it up to you. And I'm like, it's fine. Why do you feel like you have to make it up to me? And then, she kept on texting me like, are we okay? And I just kind of got to thinking about it, and I'm like, maybe we're not. So that's kind of the first disc is called Broken Rendezvous for that exact reason, saying like, yeah, it's not a good idea to meet up. And then the second disc is, more about the codependency. But this first track was inspired by Babylon by David Gray. And the way that I kind of want you to think about it is that, at least for this first track, that's, how it started off was my song Iowapolis. That's how it started off ending. And then, this person's pushback is Babylon. And that works because she, kept on talking to me when I didn't want her to. So this is Iowapolis and Babylon, and I hope you enjoy it. We talked of Iowapolis as being our first rendezvous. It was part of our best laid plans, but now those best plans found a way to fall through. I lost the feeling I once had, don't get me wrong, it made me sad to pay the price. But you wanted far beyond our time in Iowapolis, and I just couldn't make that sacrifice. Called me an asshole, now you wanna be friends like nothing happened. You felt so hard, I left you scarred on what turned out to be the back end. Called me an asshole, now you wanna be friends like that never happened. You're holding out, still holding out. You're tempting me with all the things that made us work so well before the strain. But I felt you building up to something that would somehow get my mind to change. Now I'm headed for a quad instead of the little pot. I still resist. Though at the beginning of June, you're still hearing the tune I once sang about Iowapolis. Called me an asshole, now you wanna be friends like that never happened. You felt so hot, I left you scarred on what turned out to be the back end. Called me an asshole, now you wanna be friends like that never happened. You're holding out, still holding out. Called me an asshole, now you wanna be friends like that never happened. You felt so hard, I left you scarred on what turned out to be the back end. Called me an asshole, now you wanna be friends like that never happened. You're holding out, holding out. You're still holding out. Friday night I'm going nowhere, all the lights are changing red to green. Turning over TV station situation. Let's start that over. Friday night I'm going nowhere, all the lights are changing green to red. Turning over TV station situations running through my head. Looking back through time, you know it's clear that I've been blind. I've made a fool to open up my heart to all that jealousy, that bitterness, that ridicule. Saturday night I'm running wild and all the lights are changing red to green. Moving through the crowds, I'm pushing chemicals through my bloodstream. Only wish that you were here, you know I'm seeing it so clear, I'm afraid to show you how I really feel, admit that some of the bad mistakes I made. And if you want it, come and get it, we're crying out loud now. The love that I was giving you was never in doubt. Let go of your hand and admit it now. Let go of your hand and feel it now. Babylon, Babylon, Babylon. Sun and shining sky is fading red to moon. Kicking through the autumn leaves and wondering where it is you might be going to. And turning back for home, you know I'm feeling so alone I can't believe. Climbing on the stair, I turn around to see you smiling there in front of me. And if you want it, come and get it. But crying out loud now, the love that I was giving you was never enough. Let go your hand and me now. Let go your hand and me now. Let go your hand and me now. Let go your hand and be now. Babylon, 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 Babylon. All right, and that was Iowapolis and Babylon. So first of all, before I dive into the inspiration for that song, I want to give a shout out to Pamela Walker, who's tuning in and has very religiously throughout the pandemic. So I appreciate you and Richard Wilson both for tuning in so regularly. I appreciate everybody who's tuning in. That's awesome. That song came about the second or third song that I wrote for this particular record. Excuse the profanity on there, but that those were her words. I always say I don't twist people's words around, I just use them against them. But it was just this weird deal because we had, some pretty intense conversations about, what could potentially be, between us. And, like I said, it just kind of got to this like insecure, codependency type deal. And the biggest thing that hit me is that, like, because some of you I know are going to say, well, Mike, that was you not too long ago. And that's true. I very much have that in me, but that's exactly why I was uniquely qualified to be like, this isn't the person for me. Because I don't like that about myself. And so I can't, be with somebody like that. And so that was exactly it. She called me that. And then, like, a week or so later, messaged me and was like, hey, I didn't mean that. I just can't imagine not even being your friend. And I'm like, wait a second, no. I'll come out with some more stuff that she said a little bit later. But that, that was just one of those things. And, realizing that, I'm not completely blameless, because, me kind of feeling things out was, seen as, leading her on. And so it was a very difficult situation. But it was one of those things where it's just like, no, if you, call me names and then you apologize, then it's like, what's your motive for apologizing? You're not really sorry. You just, feel like you need to talk to me again. And so, that was a situation I had to kind of get out of. And just for anybody watching this that subscribes to my channel and or Facebook page, usually on a Facebook page it'll say like, oh, this is how long the person takes to get back to you. Those numbers are going to, be a little bit high, because the only thing that I hadn't blocked this person on was my Minnesota Mike Facebook page. And, she got a hold of me there. And so, I blocked. She's still trying to, or, was at some point still trying to send me messages. So if it says like, oh, this person takes like a week to respond, that's 100% not true. I'm still screening, so don't think you can spam me. But that's just one of those things. If you see that and you're like, oh, I'm not going to message this guy, then good if you're a spammer. But if you have a business inquiry, let me know, and I will definitely take a look at it. But that is that. So that was Babylon and Iowapolis, and this next one is actually the first song that I wrote for the record, and this was before the record took on kind of a strange form, I guess. But this was inspired by 21 Guns by Green Day, which, I did a punk rock album earlier, but, not really my thing naturally. So this was kind of an interesting thing for me. But this is Thought in My Head and 21 Guns, and I hope you enjoy both of them. All I said was I needed some space. Hearing those words freaked you out. Are you serious? Was your response, thinking that night left me with no doubt. You told me all the ways in which I caused your body to electrify. Asked if I'd give up a whole life for you. I wasn't willing, so I said goodbye. You put a thought in my head that we would find the windmill you with dread. You put a thought in my head that my love for you was reaching dead. You were holding out for what couldn't pass. Don't get me wrong, I wanted to make it last, but I couldn't keep holding on with you as a wreck at the thought of me being gone. You said you wanted to give me time to think it over and then you'd be mine. But I refuse to be so blind. How's it going with giving me space? You guilted me saying I was a ghost. Like all the others, I always roast. When I'd respond, you'd fire back in anger, wondering why your love for me went to waste. You put a thought in my head that we would find, though it filled you with dread. You put a thought in my head that my love for you was reaching dead. You put a thought in my head that we would find, though and fill you with dread. You put a thought in my head that my love for you was reaching dead. Do you know what's worth fighting for when it's not worth dying for? Does it take your breath away and you feel yourself suffocating? Does the pain weigh out the pride and you look more a place to hide? Did someone break your heart inside? You're in ruins. 21 guns, lay down your arms, give up the fight. 21 guns, throw up your arms into the sky, you and I. When you're at the end of the road and you've lost all sense of control, and your thoughts have taken their toll, when your mind breaks the spirit of your soul, your faith walks on broken glass, and the hangover doesn't pass. Nothing's ever meant to last. You're in ruins. 21 guns, lay down your arms, give up the fight. 21 guns, throw up your arms into the sky. Did you try to live on your own when you burned down the house and home? Did you stand too close to the fire like a liar looking for forgiveness from a stone? When it's time to live and let die, and you can't get another try, something inside this heart has died. You're in ruins. 21 guns, lay down your arms, give up the fight. 21 guns, throw up your arms into the sky, you and I. All right, and that was Thought in My Head and 21 Guns. My song is pretty straightforward. It's basically that, we were fine until this person insisted that we weren't. And so then I was like, actually, maybe you're right. And then she got mad at me for agreeing with her, and it was just like, I don't know what you want. Um, but anyway, that is that. So this next song is a song called "Time and Space," and this is actually inspired by um, a song by Andrew Cabigo called "One Night," which was the first song that I ever heard him play live. So this is "Time and Space," and then it's going to be followed by "One Night," which is again this person's response to me, gender bending aside. So this is "Time and Space," and I hope you enjoy it. Hold out your horses just a little tighter. Can't promise the future that looks all that brighter. Maybe we can go back to talking again if you leave me alone. Maybe we can mend. We still need time and space to not get caught up in the race. We still need time and space, silence and grace. We still need time and space. It was hard for me to see your name and number. It led me to angrily talking in my slumber. We can both be adults and cut each other slack without any promises saying we can go back. We still need time and space to not get caught up in the race. We still need time and space, silence and grace. We still need time and space. Can't promise nothing down the road. For your protection, I don't know. Can't promise nothing down the road. For your protection, you should go. Lay down your weapons, take off your armor. I'm done fighting, at least till tomorrow. These months have been long, and we scorched this earth. The only thing that still remains is I still miss my girl. Can we just have one night where everything's alright? Can we just have one night, go back to our old life? Can we just have one night, do anything but fight? Can we just have one night? How long has it been? This couch is getting old. Don't even remember why we're at each other's throats. I'm not saying I'm wrong, 'cause I don't know who is. But I'll apologize if it ends this. Can we just have one night where everything's alright? Can we just have one night go back to our old life? Can we just have one night do anything but fight? Can we just have one night? Anything you want me to, I would do it for you. No, I don't care about the truth. All I want is you. 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 All right, and that was Time and Space, followed by One Night. So normally when I play contradictions like that, I play the contradiction first, and then the actual thing. Well, I guess then yeah, they're both contradictions, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, I would play my song second if the inspiration kind of contradicted that. But I kept that in there this time, and same with Iowapolis and Babylon, because it just felt like a good like push and pull of either, you know, that's them trying to convince you otherwise, or you being like, hey, wait a minute, am I making too big a deal out of this? And you know, depends on which one of us you ask, but I don't think I was. I like, the thing is I think that I was very diplomatic about it, but then you know, when she turned it into this big deal, then it's just like, no, I mean, all I was saying is that we weren't compatible, and you made it into this whole Broadway production of like, oh my gosh, you don't love me, like XYZ. And so it's like, it wasn't a big deal, but then she made it into one. And part of the, you know, part of the time and space thing was uh um I know a few too many people that are like this, that like they don't actually want to do the thing you're asking them to do. They just want to make it seem like they are. So like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh, good gosh, golly, like, you know, that just like way overcompensating for those apologies, but then not changing anything. And so like that was kind of this person. I told her, I'm like, look, I just need some space to like to think this out. And she just kept on like messaging me and being like, so you still need space, you still need space, you still need space. And it's just like, yes, that's, and you know, it wasn't quite that bad, but it was more of like, I promise I'm giving you space. And it's like, yeah, I don't think you quite understand the definition of space, because that's not what you know, trying to get a hold of me every day is. So that's just a strange deal there. But anyway, this next song was inspired by Lips of an Angel, the Hinder song, and it's called We're Not Working. And all right, Pamela liked Time and Space. That's awesome. And Pamela is local as well, and so that's excellent to hear. You should definitely check out One Night by Andrew Cabigo, which inspired that song. So this song, like I said, was inspired by Lips of an Angel, and it's called We're Not Working. And the genesis of this song is, like I said, like I was just trying to not make a big deal out of it, just saying like, hey, we just weren't working out. It's nothing personal. It's just, hey, this is what it is. But then it kind of became, if you want to make it personal, I'll make it personal, but I don't want to have to go there. So this is We're Not Working, and Lips of an Angel, and I hope you enjoy both of them. I think you said I love you too quick in the game. You know I love you too, but it's just not the same. Set yourself a disappointment when you try to tell me that I make your body electrify. You would ever brood in the lava which you're suited, and questions, had regrets, wanting to vilify when we met. Everything I said I meant, but not to the extent I thought I did. Before you and I could crash, I leaned head first into the skid. I needed space, what were you trying to chase? I thought you'd be the end of my searching, but we just were not working. You hated someone needing you all the time. Then you became dependent on me in your mind. Couldn't think of nothing but us, I've been there. It's healthier to negotiate how much you care. You would ever rooted the life for which you're suited, and questions, had regrets, wanting to near the fire when we met. Everything I said I meant, but not to the extent I thought I did. Before you and I could crash, I leaned head first into the skid. I needed space, what were you trying to chase? I thought you'd be the end of my searching, but we just were not working. I needed space, what were you trying to chase? I thought you'd be the end of my searching, but we just were not working. Honey, why you calling me so late? It's kinda hard to talk right now. Honey, why you crying? Is everything okay? I gotta whisper 'cause I can't be too loud. Where my girl's in the next room. Sometimes I wish she was you. I guess we never really moved on. It's really good to hear your voice. Hearing my name, it sounds so sweet. Coming from the lips of an angel. Hearing those words, it makes me weak. Oh, and I never wanna say goodbye, but girl, you make it hard to me faithful with the lips of an angel. It's funny that you're calling me tonight. And yes, I've dreamed of you too. And does he know you're talking to me? Will it start a fight? No, I don't think he has a clue. Well, my girl's in the next room. Sometimes I wish she was you. I guess we never really moved on. It's really good to hear your voice. Hearing my name, it sounds so sweet. Coming from the lips of an angel. Hearing those words, it makes me weak. Because I never want to say goodbye. But girl, you make it unto me faithful with the lips, and I never want to say goodbye. But girl, you make it unto me faithful with the lips of an angel. Honey, why you calling me so late? All right, and that was Lips of an Angel, and We're Not Working. Speaking of people who are working, though, Richard Wilson just played a phenomenal gig at South Main Sounds on Friday night, and he is playing for, or playing at, I should say, the Memphis Chess Club on Friday of this upcoming week, the 11th. So definitely be sure to check him out there. If I'm remembering correctly, it's from 6 to 9 there. So definitely be there if you can. Yeah, Richard's awesome. Great guy, great musician, and all of that. All right. So this next song was inspired by Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones. And it's funny because I when I was writing for this album, I've also been rewatching BoJack Horseman, and so I think that like kind of seeped into my subconscious because I have this song inspired by Wild Horses, Andrew Cabigo, the One Night song or whatever in my song that was inspired by that one. The opening line was "Hold all your horses," and then I'm going to be playing "Horse with No Name" a little bit later on. So apparently horses were very influential, but no horses were harmed in the making of this album. Just so you know. And you're welcome, Richard. Always happy to support. Yeah, so for this one, I am going to play Wild Horses first, and then I'm going to play. Actually, no, I'm gonna do Running first, and then I am going to do Wild Horses. I'm only going to switch it up on one, and you'll see why in a little bit. But this is Running and Wild Horses. Things seem so easy until they did not. You asked if we were okay, then didn't respect my thoughts. Words that you're saying imply my love was never real. But I just couldn't match the way you feel. Now I'm running. I suggest you run too. Now I'm running. Iowapolis wasn't for me and you. could have treated you better. I became who I had loathed. You always needed my approval. You wondered why I had to go. Better as a memory, now the good ones faded fast. The more you reached out, the more I didn't want to make it last. Now I'm running. Yeah, I suggest you run too. Now I'm running. Iowapolis wasn't for me and you. It's weird I don't love someone who claims to love me this much. But I knew in Iowapolis I would have been numb to your touch. I've made my feelings clear now, you're only hurting yourself. And I can't stand seeing you burn for nothing in melt. Now I'm running. I suggest you run too. Now I'm running. Iowapolis wasn't for me and you. Now I'm running. I suggest you run too. Now I'm running. Iowapolis wasn't for me and you. Childhood living was so easy to do. The things I wanted, I bought them for you. Graceless lady, you know who I am. You know I can't let you slide through my hands. Wild horses couldn't drag me away. Wild, wild horses couldn't drag me away. I watched you suffer a dull and aching pain. Now you decided to show me the same. No sweeping exits or offstage lines could make me feel bitter or treat you unkind. Wild horses couldn't drag me away. Wild, wild horses couldn't drag me away. I knew I dreamed you were sin and a lie. I am my freedom, but I don't have much time. Faith has been broken, tears must be cried. Let's do some living after we die. Wild horses couldn't drag me away. Wild, wild horses will ride them someday. Wild drag me away. Wild, wild horses, we'll ride them someday. All right, and that was Wild Horses, and also Running before that. So Wild Horses was in and of itself, that doesn't really sound like a Rolling Stones song, but it was one of two tracks that I for sure know were inspired by Graham Parsons. The other one being Angie, kind of in that singer-songwriter California sound realm, and very influential on the Stones and a load of other artists as well. His life was tragically cut short, that was Wild Horses. I thought that was on Exile, but it was actually on Sticky Fingers, which was right before Exile. So I had kind of the same era, but that was that. So I keep on having to overcompensate for not playing anything off of Blood on the Tracks in my Bob Dylan tribute a couple weeks ago. I had 2 last week, and I have another one. Actually, I had 3 last week, and I have another one this week. This song was inspired by You're a Big Girl Now, and even though the next side of the record is called Codependency, this is a song called Codependent, and it's one of those things where I tried to kind of shape the 2 records in those 2 categories, but it all comes out. The codependency plays into why the Rendezvous was broken. The Rendezvous was broken because of the codependent, right? So it's just kind of this circle, which you could argue that you can just play this in an endless loop, and you never know where it starts and when it begins. So if you're into that, definitely do that. So I'll explain the first line of this song after I get done with it. But this is Codependent, and You're a Big Girl Now, and I hope you enjoy both of them. Say you're not desperate, you wanted me to respond saying you agree. You're not codependent, so you swear. Yeah, you say you can't live without me there. I couldn't see a life where you couldn't see a life where I was gone. I know when it comes to love, time marches on. We weren't right for each other. You insist you're not codependent, but believe if you weren't, you could go a day without talking to me. I hold no anger, I make no vows. Swore we could have made it work, but didn't tell me how. You wondered what happened to your causing of glee. I don't know but I'm not codependent. Can't you see? Say I should think of you when I've got no one, but I don't need another to provide my son. You've always fallen into silver lining bag of plans, but I'm not codependent like you. Please understand. Our conversation was short and sweet. It nearly swept me off of my feet, and I'm back in the rain now. And you're on dry land. You'll make it there somehow. You're a big girl now. But on the horizon, sitting on a fence, he's singing his song for me at his own expense. And I'm just like that bird, oh, singing just for you. Yeah, I hope that you can hear me singing through these tears. Time is a jet plane, it moves so fast. Oh, but what a shame if all we've shared can't last. I can change, I swear, oh. See what you can do. I can make it through. You can make it too. Love is so simple, to quote a phrase. You've known it all this time, I'm learning it these days. Oh, I know where I can find you, oh, in somebody's room. It's the price I must pay. You're a big girl all the way. A change in the weather is known to be extreme, but what's the sense of changing horses in midstream? I'm going out of my mind, oh, with a pain that stops and starts like a corkscrew to my heart, ever since we've been apart. All right, and that was You're a Big Girl Now and Codependent. So first to You're a Big Girl Now, I always mention this with Idiot Wind, but I forget that there's a line in Only Want to Be With You by Hootie and the Blowfish that says the bird on a horizon sitting on a fence. You always laugh at me and ask me what I meant by, said I shot a man named Gray, took his wife to Italy. She inherited $1 million, and when she died, it came to me. Or she came to me, or something along those lines. And then I can't help it if I'm lucky is the last part. So Dylan is credited as a co-writer on that particular song because of that sampling, or whatever you want to call it, lifting of lines in there. Darius Rucker has done pretty well ripping off Bob Dylan. So I don't know when my time will come, but fingers crossed. So that was that. And to Codependent. The first line in that, say you're not desperate, you wanted me to respond saying I agreed. at some point when we were, kind of having these conversations, she said something like, after she had been messaging me for days and days and days, and she's like, there's probably nothing that I can say, to not make me seem desperate in your eyes. And I'm just like, yeah, kind of. There's nothing you can say. You can stop saying things, and that'll, do you some good in that department. But, it was like, yeah, no, you're right. There isn't anything you can say. And so she responded back saying, I was really hoping that you would tell me that I wasn't desperate. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do we not understand the concept of irony here? So that was just too much for me. And being mad over a relationship, that's definitely one thing, to maybe channel your Alanis Morissette. But the stuff that I just mentioned, that actually is ironic. So that's a whole different thing. But anyway, I mentioned earlier that A Horse with No Name was going to be on the set list. And that's the next song that that I'm going to play, or one of the next songs, part of the next medley. So this is a song called The Other Side, and this is a little bit of self-awareness. And I mentioned this earlier, that it's like, I've been on the other side of this, where I've been the codependent one, and that's something that I'm trying to avoid. And I saw an opportunity to avoid it and took it. And so that's one of those things. So when this person kept on reaching out, it was like, it was one of those things where she's just like, I just want to be your friend again. And I'm like, yeah, but like, I can tell you firsthand that's not sustainable. Because it just, like, there's something inside of each of you that dies. And so, like, eventually just like, no. And the more that, we talk, the more you're going to think like, okay, let's ramp this back up. And it's just like, no, that's just not going to happen. And so, yeah. So this is The Other Side, and A Horse with No Name, and I'm going to play them in that order. On the surface of reconnecting, seemed to be on the right track, till you brought up Iowapolis, and it was clear you wanted all the way back. I tried my best to tell you, being friends now wouldn't be hard. There would always be a part of you that would never heal from this scar. Yeah, I came from the other side of a similar mess, and can tell you a clean break is best. I can tell you still have feelings for me, and you would still kill just to feel my caress. You also said it was fine now, like any of that was your call. Why do I need to know you've forgiven me when I've already moved on from it all? I still have random bouts of anger about all that went down. And now added to that is you casually saying I should still meet you in that town. I came from the other side of a similar mess, and can tell you clean break is best. I can tell you still have feelings for me, and I know you'd still kill just to feel my caress. I came from the other side of a similar mess and can tell you a clean break is best. I can tell you're still in feelings for me, and I know you'd still kill just to feel my caress. On the first part of the journey, I was looking at all of life. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rings. The first thing I met was a fly with a buzz in the sky with no clouds. The heat was hot and the ground was dry, but the air was full of sound. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one but to give you no pain. La 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 la. La 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 la. After 9 days, I let the horse run free, 'cause the desert had me. After 2 days in the desert sun, my skin began to turn red. After 3 days in the desert sun, I was looking at a riverbed, and the story it told of a river that flowed made me sad to think it was dead. You see, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one but to give you no pain. La 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 la. La 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 la. After 9 days, I let the horse run free, 'cause the desert had turned to sea. There were mountains and birds and rocks and things. There were sand and hills and rings. The ocean is a desert with a life underground and a perfect disguise up above. Under cities lies a heart made of ground, but the humans will give no love. You see, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to get out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one but to give you no man. La 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 la. La 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 la. All right, and that was America with Horse with No Name. Obviously, me covering it, not the actual band America. They were actually supposed to come here last March. It was like March 15th or something like that. So it was like right when everything shut down. And although I had just seen a concert a couple of days earlier, Justin Townes Earl, the last show that he ever played. That was that. But yeah, I mean, you never really hear the good stuff that COVID does, canceling America concerts. No, I'm kidding. I love those guys. They actually have inspired a couple of tracks since the lockdown, just kind of out of nowhere. So that you never hear about the good things that COVID does. We'll reserve that for Phil Spector because he passed away earlier this year. But anywho, that was The Other Side and Horse with No Name. Speaking of Horse with No Name, just really quick, I mentioned that I've been rewatching BoJack Horseman, and there's a cover of Horse with No Name from like season 4, I want to say, that Michelle Branch did, and it was produced by Patrick Carney, and from the Black Keys, and it was so good that the two of them got married. That ended up working out in more ways than one. But it's a phenomenal cover, so you should definitely check that out when you get the chance. So this next song was actually the second one that I wrote for the album. And this is kind of where things started getting strange, because it went from Green Day to Maroon 5 in terms of inspirations. But this is a song called Love Being Gone. It was just a weird situation, because, you know, like I said in the other thing, is that it's like, you know, love is a choice, and, you know, like that whole paradox that if they, you know, you're kind of thinking like, oh, if they choose you, then like, oh, it's okay, but you're still a hypocrite. And then, you know, the other side to that is like, if you're not willing to try, then it's like, then you're falling victim to that. So like either way, you know, unless you try to force something to work that just isn't working, then, you know, you're going to wind up as a hypocrite in that regard. But this is Love Being Gone. And this is that along with Ragdoll, the Maroon 5 song, which was a bonus track off of the 10th anniversary edition of Songs About Jane. What you doing, holding on after I told you we were done on the heartache? Yeah, I told you so many times, I don't know why you're stuck. Think I had something to prove. Oh, but what about you? You kept saying not to close the door on when I could be, but we are still strangers. There's no way that you can love me to that higher degree, and I cannot deal with our rendezvous. Let's look inside. Said if you were my bride, from my wedding you would I. Now suddenly you compromise. I simply said we weren't compatible. I love you, but my heart is not that full. You're still blind to think I have the will, but there's nothing to this, so stop holding on. How's the day break? Yeah, I've turned off the pain, but please know I still care. I still make mistakes. Your desperation made us broken without repair. Maybe you're a hypocrite too. Let's look inside. Said if you were my bride, from my wedding you would I. Now suddenly you compromise. I simply said we weren't compatible. I love you, but my heart is not as full. You're blind to think I am the will, but there's nothing to this, so stop holding on. The rush did not make up for the exhaustion. I'll find somebody else I can get lost in. You stopped loving him when I came along, so you should know all about love being gone. The rush did not make up for the exhaustion. I'll find somebody else I can get lost in. You stopped loving him when I came along, so you should know all about love being gone. How you feeling? The day is at its way with both of us. And I've gone out of my way, but I'm not free from this pain I'm feeling. I was a fool to ever think you'd come around, but no, I'm not better today, 'cause I'm not. You are not what you seem. You are a mystery to me. Sometimes I just wanna scream. Yeah, I think you should just go away, 'cause there's no necessity for you to stay. And next time you come around my way, forget it, baby. You're not coming in. I'm in it for a life of sorrow. No, you can't come back tomorrow. Shut my windows, lock my doors, 'cause my heart won't be your rag doll anymore. Yeah. I think you should just go away, 'cause there's no necessity for you to stay. And next time you come around my way, forget it, baby. You're not coming in. I'm in it for a life of sorrow. No, you can't come back tomorrow. Shut my windows and lock my doors, 'cause my heart won't be your rag doll anymore. 'Cause my heart won't be your rag doll anymore. All right, and that was Love Being Gone and Ragdoll. That's a song that I have tried to emulate for years and years and years, and I still didn't even do it, but I got it good enough. And just lyrically, the other things weren't working, but that was one of those things. It's a phenomenal track, super jazzy. Yeah, definitely check it out. If you're friends with me on Facebook, I always post the link to all of the songs and stuff that that I covered this past week. Yeah, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Yeah. So next up, we've got another local favorite. And this is a guy named Ben Dayton. He actually, I don't know if he lives in Memphis anymore. He did for a while, then moved back, and then moved out again. And I think that's his current status, but he's still just a phenomenal musician, songwriter, and all of that. And actually, I played my first real show in Memphis, where I was one of the featured acts. Well, I guess then it would have been my second. But the first show I got paid for, I'll put it that way. In Memphis, I was already friends with Ben, and so Mark Parcell put me with, Ben and Nick Long, Savannah Long, and then King Margot, who I had never met before, but now they're good friends of mine. If you're in Memphis, they're playing on July 22nd at the High Tones, so be sure to check them out for that. But anyway, so this is a song inspired by Iceberg by Ben Dayton. And when Ben was playing, my mom turned to me and she goes, "Man, I thought your stuff was dark." And so I took that as a personal challenge to write some darker songs, and here we are. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, Mom. But I'm gonna play Ben's song first. And this is dark because of the guilt, and it just wouldn't make any sense if I played this second. And so I'm going to play this one first, and then I'm going to play a song of mine called Free Churro, and I'll explain that title in a second. But this is Ben Dayton, his song Iceberg, me covering that song, and Free Churro. Memories fly back into the holes in my brain. I managed to forget them all, but you're the one that remains. You knew me before this all, but it's all the same. So take hold while you watch me fall, 'cause I feel your pain and I can't forget. And I feel your pain and I can't forget. I feel your pain and I can't forget. And I feel your pain and I can't forget. Longingly like a waterfall, you move with only grace. Why couldn't I call you beautiful to your lovely face? I just hope that you move on tomorrow, 'cause I feel your pain and I can't forget. And I feel your pain and I can't forget. And I feel your pain and I can't forget. I feel your pain and I can't forget. Telephone spoke me the words I couldn't say. I couldn't seem to find a way. Struggling just to find a place. Can I take it at my own pace? They say it ain't a race, but I wonder how you're doing now. Did you ever slow it down? Did you ever get out of town? No, no. Telephone spoke to the words I couldn't say. I couldn't seem to find a way. Well, I should have told you every day. I should have told you every day. I should have told you every day. And I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Yeah, I feel it too. were gonna be another memory, another fork in the road. I was gonna be just fine, but then you said you had me think so. We built a little bubble and saw how things could roost. But bubbles are meant for people like me, and not for folks like you, and I don't need your pity. You tell me you don't need mine, and I don't need to be grieving with the promise of a consolation prize. And I'm not what could have been. Yeah, I'm not rude, your life was thrown away. I'm not the good thing that comes to you on your worst day. Yeah, I was just fine without you. Your feelings became so strong, but something about the way you felt about me just felt some kind of wrong. You say you were sick of always being needed and not the one who needs. So you became over dependent on my being an escape from reality, and I don't need your pity. You tell me you don't need mine. Yeah, I don't need to be grieving with the promise of a consolation prize, and I'm not what could have been. Yeah, I'm not rude, your life was thrown away. I'm not the good thing that comes to you on your worst days. Now Iowapolis can work and neither can we. You were just a little bit too obsessed with living outside reality. I ain't here to make you feel better about mistakes you think you made. You don't get to say you love me when that's something someone else is already poised to say. And I don't need your pity. You tell me you don't need mine. Yeah, I don't need to be grieving with the promise of a consolation prize, and I'm not what could have been. Yeah, I'm not rude, your life was thrown away. I'm not the good thing that comes to you on your worst days. All right, and that was Iceberg and Free Churro. So Iceberg is the apology song, obviously, and then Free Churro is the wait a minute. No. So first of all, going to the title of Free Churro, as I said, I've been rewatching BoJack Horseman, and there's this just phenomenal episode where he's giving a eulogy at his mom's funeral, and I won't give anything away because you have to see it to appreciate it. But but anyway, like one of the things that or like the idea behind the title of the episode is he was at Hardee's right after his mom died. And I can't remember how he said that the cashier or whatever found out that oh yeah, his mom died. And so he's like, so I got a free churro because my mom died. And that just felt wrong to me that just in a couple of different ways that this shouldn't be a consolation prize. Like my mom died, but also I should feel worse about this, and so all I got out of this was this lousy churro. So there are a couple of different ways to look at it. And in the context of the song, that was kind of the thing that in addition to the codependency stuff, we were literally and figuratively miles apart. And in terms of what we wanted, kind of when we wanted it to. And so the like part of it was, this person knew some of what I had been through relationship wise. And so it was like, man, that's a lot. And, I just don't want you being bitter and want to give you a good experience and whatever. And it was just one of those things where like after a while it kind of became more about her. And also I didn't really, I didn't need that, right? Like I was going to be fine. It keeps on chipping away, but like, you'll learn how to live with it if you're not compatible with somebody and just like be independent, right? And so that's what I had learned to do, but I was just like, okay, let's see where this goes, and then didn't go anywhere. And then it was just like, yeah, I don't need your pity. I'm gonna be fine. And when I kind of stopped talking, then she was like, I don't need you talking to me just because you feel bad for me. And I'm like, oh, okay. But then she still kept on messaging me. So it was just like, I don't know what you want. Just a messed up situation that will hopefully, I'll hopefully get over in 2.5 albums. But this next song is, so I was at work and it was probably like first period when I got this song stuck in my head, You Never Give Me Your Money. Excuse me. And I was like, gosh, that's driving me nuts. So I had some extra time during my prep, and so I wrote this song and, kind of wanted it to have that feel to it. And this is a song called You Didn't Respect My Feelings. And it's pretty self-explanatory. So this is that. You didn't respect my feelings, and you never give me your money. And I hope you enjoy both of them. You didn't respect my feelings. I hinted at it, but your reeling stopped me. So I went back, 'cause being scared was somehow worse. You didn't respect my feelings. I grounded you, you were still on the ceiling. The longer I'm forced to let it linger, the more I'm on the ringer at you. You told me you had regrets, don't see how it's a problem yet. If you'd only take some time, I bet you could get over me. Your old habits made me fall, now I'm gonna work it all. I know what you're doing, can't you see? You can't hold me, no, this will not work. It's nothing personal, no need to go berserk. Once I left, you got scared enough. One day I was an asshole, the next you needed a friend. Once I left, I regained my breath. And if you let me go, maybe we could mend. You didn't respect my feelings. I hinted at him, but your reeling stopped me. So I went back, 'cause being scared was somehow worse. You didn't respect my feelings. I grounded you, you were still on the ceiling. The longer I'm forced to let it linger, the more I'm on the ringer at you. You never give me your money. You only give me your funny paper. And in the middle of negotiations, you break down. I never gave you my number. I only give you the situation. And in the middle of investigation, I'm breaking down. Out of college, money spent, see no future, pay no rent. All the money's gone, nowhere to go. Any job I got the sack, Monday morning turning back, yellow is slow, nowhere to go. That magic feeling, nowhere to go. Oh, that magic feeling, nowhere to go. Ay, 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 one sweet dream, back in the bank and in the limousine, zooming me away from me, step on the gas and wipe that tear away. One sweet dream came true today, came true today, yes it did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all good children go to heaven. All right, and that was You Never Give Me Your Money and You Didn't Respect My Feelings. Yeah. So that was that. By the way, that if you close your eyes, it sounds exactly like Robert Plant, which is semi-plausible, because Led Zeppelin was like just starting out in 69 when 68, but when that album was recorded, which was Abbey Road. But maybe not him, but definitely influence there one way or the other. Yeah, so that song was just kind of pieced together from a lot of different stuff, making that into a medley. But it was based on their financial troubles after George Martin died. They were kind of in dire straits financially, and so one of the things that the funny paper, apparently their accountants would just like come in and they wouldn't actually tell them how much money they had. They would just hand them a piece of paper and be like, "This is how much you're worth," but not, wouldn't actually give them the money. So it was kind of a strange time. But even the Beatles didn't get paid enough for their phenomenal music. Yeah. So that was that. Yeah. And in terms of my song, You Didn't Respect My Feelings, that sounds a little bit childish to say, but it was kind of the only thing that I thought could come out. Or they did come out in terms of writing that. So I just kind of kept it. And Paul McCartney, if you're listening, you could have had a hit song called Scrambled Eggs if you had just, followed that. But anyway, so the You Didn't Respect My Feelings thing, just I've brought it up a couple of times that this person is like, "Oh, why aren't you talking to me? You're ghosting me." And you've, complained about other people ghosting you, and now you're doing the same and whatever. So, kind of playing the guilt card there. which is semi-fair, by the way. Like, I don't mean to ghost people, but if I make my feelings very clear, and then they're still like, oh, you're not, being explicit in how you feel. It's just like, okay, I am, but you're living in your own reality. So that's just one of those things. But that was kind of it. That, like, you just didn't respect my feelings, and so here we are. But anyway, so this next song is Early Morning Riser. Or was inspired by Early Morning Riser by Pure Prairie League, which I always associate with Amy. And they had the song Falling In and Out of Love that I always think is a medley, but they're actually two separate tracks. And then Early Morning Riser comes right before Falling In and Out of Love. So I remember listening to that growing up, which was really cool. Shout out to my dad. But this is a song called Just a Dream, and it was inspired by Early Morning Riser. I'm going to do them in that order. How is your mind changing? You ask me why I waited so long to tell you I didn't, but you didn't hear me try. We run circles around your questions, sing them all these amnesia sessions. How many times do I have to tell you goodbye? Want me to tell you you're not desperate? Can't handle that much irony. It's true you used to be my respite, but Iowapolis was just a dream. Trying to tell you 2 weeks after you no longer cause me laughter, and it pains me to be on the other side. But you didn't see that what you're needing is just for too much of my time. Want me to tell you you're not desperate? Can't handle that much irony. It's true you used to be my respite, but now Iowapolis was just a dream. Say you love me, you barely know me, and I have a habit, and you have a habit of milling your words fast. Say my silence kills you well, maybe you're just over-obsessed. Want me to tell you you're not desperate? Can't handle that much irony. It's true you used to be my respite, but Iowapolis was just a dream. Want me to tell you you're not desperate? Can't handle that much irony. It's true you used to be my respite, but Iowapolis was just a dream. Early morning riser, I can still feel all your sunlight shine before the dawn. First light morning feelings got me losing so much sleep. just can't say how much I miss you when you're gone. 'Cause I get a feeling something like a summer wind. When you love me like a sister, then you're gone again. But there's so much light shining in your eyes that you just can't but keep a love alive. Now I hear some other loving sunshine brothers left you crying and you're all alone. So dry your eyes and try to say your goodbyes, 'cause you're old enough to get back on your feet on your own. Don't you get the kind of feeling like a summer wind? 'Cause he loved you like a brother, now he's gone again. But there's still a lot of love line in your eyes, and you should know how to keep a man alive. Well, you can stand right there and tell me something's wrong. It's so hard to know your problems when you're gone. So early morning, rise up. There's not much more I can do to try and make things right. If you need another sunshine brother, I can be right there beside you by the early morning light, and I'll forget that feeling like a summer wind. And now I'm probably starting to think about you now and then. But there's still a lot of love light shining in your eyes, and you still know how to keep a man alive. All right, and that was Just a Dream and Early Morning Riser. So the funny thing about writing and like rediscovering some of these songs, the covers that you do, is that as I was working it out, I was like, wait a minute, the way he's singing that sounds really familiar, and it sounded like Broken Halos, which obviously came second. But I wrote that. Actually, this is probably the last song that I wrote for the album. But it was inspired by Broken Halos by Chris Stapleton. And I'm not entirely sure if anybody that I used to teach over in Marion is listening. But I know I have a couple former students who really enjoy this song. And they just lost a friend of theirs named Andy Jackson. And I'm not entirely sure of the details, but it sounded, I mean, he was young, so obviously tragic, no matter how it happened. But I want to dedicate this song to him. And to all of my friends as well who were grieving over that. So this first one is an angry song, so I'm not going to dedicate that to them. You don't deserve that. But Broken Halos, for sure, I want to dedicate that to you guys. I hope you enjoy both of them. This is Quiet and Broken Halos. I'm gone quiet, you should try it. I turn on the heartache 'cause I've seen so much. I'm gone quiet, you don't buy it. You made me realize I don't need your touch. You say you needed a rendezvous to see the love that we could share. We lack ignorance if you need assurance that love between us will be in the air. But it ain't my job to be a heartthrob you missed out on through no fault of your own. If you need me to stop the bleeding. There's no way you and I were meant to grow. I'm gone quiet, you should try it. I turn off the heartache 'cause I've seen so much. I'm gone quiet, you don't buy it. You made me realize I don't need your touch. Hooked on a feeling, it was revealing, and you've been down this road a time or two. So am lying, didn't mean to lie, but we were meant for this rendezvous. You lost your senses, you got defensive, wanting so badly to win me back. More desperation, more hesitation, and more light shining through on what we lack. I'm gone quiet, you should try it. I turn off the heartache 'cause I've seen so much. I'm gone quiet, you don't buy it. You made me realize I don't need your touch. You fall for people too quickly and wonder why things never last. I used to do just the same, and I can't live with that mirror my past. I'm gone quiet, you should try it. I turn off the heartache 'cause I've seen so much. I'm gone quiet, you don't buy it. You made me realize I don't need your touch. Seen my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly. They've all gone wherever they go, broken halos that used to shine. Angels come down from the heavens just to help us along our way. Come to teach us, then they leave us, and they might summon a soul to save. Seen my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly. They've all gone wherever they go, broken halos that used to shine. Don't go looking for the reasons, don't go asking Jesus why. We're not meant to know the answers, they belong to the by and by. They belong to the by and by. Seen my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly. They've all gone wherever they go, broken halos that used to shine. Broken halos that used to shine. Broken halos that used to shine. All right, and that was Broken Halos. I hope you enjoyed that. And before that, I had a song called Quiet. Yeah, so that was that. I got a handful more for you. 3 more originals, 3 more covers to go with them. So this is a song called Doubts, and it's basically about making some choices and not really getting to backtrack on them. So yeah, this is Doubts, and it was inspired by Cold Comfort Flowers, which I was just having a discussion with some people in a Fountains of Wayne group about how, like, we don't really know what it means. It's pretty vague, but it's still a pretty good song. So this is Doubts and Cold Comfort Flowers, and I hope you enjoy both of them. Caught up in the moment, the word love was used. You said I was sure what I wanted, but I was sure confused. I'm fine with being lonely, don't let things twist. And would you like me better if we got to kiss? Said I'd be fine if it was you, but they don't provide a contract that we must see through. I'm sorry if it felt like I let you on. I was just feeling things out. It's not my job to answer your what ifs. People in your shoes don't get to act on their doubts. You called me an ass, don't think I forgot. Said it was all or nothing, now it's all that we're not. Suddenly you can picture us not even as friends, but now that's something you'll be forced to comprehend. Said I'd be fine if it was you, but they don't provide a contract that we must see through. I'm sorry if it felt like I let you on. I was just feeling things out. It's not my job to answer your what ifs. People in your shoes don't get to act on doubts. Said I'd be fine if it was you, but they don't provide a contract that we must see through. I'm sorry if it felt like I let you on. I was just feeling things out. It's not my job to answer your what ifs. People in your shoes don't get to act on their doubts. I'm sorry if it felt like I let you on. I was just feeling things out. It's not my job to answer all your what ifs. People in your shoes don't get to act on their doubts. Peace sign on the window, Japanese car. You will remember the pipe on the radio. Big blue policeman says stay where you are. Surrender your Chinese arms. Rock show Romeo, black and white shoes. Strawberry haircut and fist pumping pride. Scrape off all the draws, keep what you can use, and leave the weaker ones behind. They step outside to step out slow, in Maine trying to find a hole they can outgrow. They're all in time, one finally on the mind, climbing toward the spots in the sun. And unwelcome fate may ferry all the way, but no government flowers will bloom and decay. Pink clouds, summer sorrow, oceanside swears. If you don't feel pretty, wash your face in the tide. Well, find young and late and weary detail, and tell the people, little people, you try. They step outside to step out slow, in Maine trying to find a hole they can outgrow. They are in time. Wine finally on the mind. Day and ten, and unwelcome fate may marry all the way, but no other flowers will blossom and fade. They are in time. Wine finally on the mind, climbing toward the spots in the sun, and unwelcome fate may vary all the way, but no other flowers will blossom and fade. All right, and that was Doubts and Cold Comfort Flowers. All right, I just got two more songs for you, two more medleys, that is, two originals and one cover. So this next song is a song of mine called I-80 West, and it was inspired by Fire and Rain. I'm going to play them in that order. You kept on asking if we were alright. I'm under that question for the rest of the night. The long clock rang, it was 5 the next day, and told you my conclusion you didn't understand. You wanted so madly to rescue me from my supposed pain and misery. It's true we felt more pain than all the rest, but the answer doesn't lie on I-80 West. So then we ending it slow, you say. We don't have to promise our whole lives today. But even if you are just a short drive down on 30 miles south, that still would not remove all of my doubts. You wanted so madly to rescue me from my supposed pain and misery. It's true we felt more pain than the rest, but the answer no lie on I-80 West. You wanted so madly to rescue me from my supposed pain and misery. It's true we felt more pain than the rest, but the answer doesn't lie on I-80 West. Just yesterday morning they let me know you were gone. Susan and the plans they made put an end to you. I walked down this morning and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days and I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought that I'd see you again. Won't you look at me, Jesus? You gotta help me make a stand. You gotta see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is at end, and I won't make it any other way. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've had lonely nights when I could not find a friend, but I always thought that I'd see you again. Been walking my mind to an easy time, toward the sun. Lord knows when the knowing blows, it'll turn your head around. Well, it's hours on the time on the telephone line to talk about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines and faces on the ground. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you one more time again. Yeah, I always thought that I'd see you again. All right, and that was I-80 West and Fire and Rain. Second one by James Taylor, who I am very mad at, by the way. He and Jackson Browne were supposed to play Memphis about a year ago, and I can't fault him for canceling because of COVID, especially since Jackson Browne had COVID. But he and Jackson Browne were supposed to be playing and in Memphis, and the rescheduled date I thought was in Memphis, but it's actually in Nashville, which is just really horrible. Who goes to Nashville? But this next song is a song called Going Down With Me. And it was inspired by Nebraska by Bruce Springsteen. So that kind of tells you what kind of mental state I was in while writing this record. But it was a really good way to close out the album. Even though it wasn't how I originally thought I was going to close out the album. But it just kind of came to me. And so this is Going Down With Me and Nebraska. You know the truth, you were so certain, but it was just your own version. You didn't wanna hear what truly happened. You just wanted to make sure you weren't insane. Forced in I love you way too quick. You wondered why mine didn't stick. If you weren't so codependent, maybe my mind would not have changed. I tried to do this for your protection, but you keep coming back in my direction. I wouldn't like to make it work, but your codependency had my mind shifting. I tried so hard to turn you away. You brought me back into the fray. Now if you insist on taking me down, you can be assured you're going down with me. I saw her standing on her front lawn, just a twirling her baton. Me and her went for a ride, sir, and 10 innocent people died. From the town of Lincoln, Nebraska, with a sawed-off 410 on my lap, through to the Badlands mountains of Wyoming. Yeah, I killed everything in my path. I can't say that I'm sorry for the things we have done. Yeah, at least for a little while, sir. Me and her, we had us some fun. The jury brought in a guilty verdict, and the judge, he sentenced me to death. Midnight in a prison storeroom with leather straps across my chest. Sheriff, when the man pulls that switch, sir, and snaps my boring back, you make sure my pretty Mamie is sitting right there on my lap. They declared me unfit to live. Said into that great moor, my soul and me up. They wanted to know why I did what I did. Well, sir, I guess there's just a meanness to this world. All right, and that was Going Down With Me and Nebraska, the second of which was by Bruce Springsteen, and the thing where he says, when he snaps my poor head back, you make sure my pretty baby is sitting right there on my lap. That's kind of where I got the idea from the title of this song, is like, if I'm going down, if you're taking me down, I'm taking you down with me. That was kind of the thing. You say your thing, I'll say mine, and whatever. But to be continued next week, when we have the Iowapolis part 2 live stream, and that is the codependency section of this particular album, and that is going to get very wild. 15 tracks, same thing, but there's a little bit of a twist to it. So be sure to stay tuned for that. We'll go back to Saturdays, so that'll be on the 12th. And yeah, we'll go from there. I'm Minnesota Mike. Thank you so much.